Hello everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. Last time we wrapped up the investigation for this whole thing surrounding the death of Detective Bruce Goodman and the prime suspect, Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye. So, yeah, let's go ahead and go into the first day of court proceedings, shall we? How did the investigation go yesterday, Mr. Wright? Frankly, there are still a lot of gray areas. Or rather, the whole thing is one big gray area. Don't worry about me, no matter what the outcome. I'm ready to accept my fate. I believe in you, sis. Mr. Wright, let me offer you a word of advice. Yes? A defense attorney should never believe their client. Why? The defendant is called to trial because they are suspected of wrongdoing. Never forget that. Miss Skye, you remind me a lot of Mia, but there is one decisive difference between you and her, and that is, you're not a defense attorney. I believe it's almost time for the trial. Good luck, Mr. Wright. Because yeah, you know, we're still tangling with the idea that she is pretty much, you know, confessing to the crime. So, yeah, uphill battle. Anyway, my first trial without a fae helping me. No one's going to bail me out this time. I'll be alone in there. So I have to discover the truth all by myself. Let's do it, Mr. Wright. I'll be with you the whole way. Here we go. The court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor. Edgeworth. I haven't been in court since Edgeworth's trial. It's been a while now. I hope that personal feelings will not be a part of the proceedings today, Mr. Wright. I will choose the path I think is right, regardless of what those around me might say. The judgment to be made here is in our hands, not those of anyone else. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. Your opening statement, please. Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye has committed an unpardonable crime. Not only this, but she was rash enough to commit it in the prosecutor's office lot. Wow, he's much more forceful in person. I suddenly feel like confessing to everything. However, she will not pay for her rashness. Oh, she will now pay for her rashness with her life. There was a witness to her crime. A professional witness. Well then, call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution calls its first witness, Miss Angel Starr, to the stand. The cough-up queen. God, I hate that name. God, everything about her is annoying and pretentious. I cannot stand her. Haven't I seen you somewhere? You ordered the caviar lunch, right? Oh, caviar! I've never eaten caviar before. The judge is really wolfing it down. The courtroom is not a place for caviar. Fine, whatever. And for you I have a fiesta bowl. Thanks? Will the witness state her name and profession? And you, sir? Did you order the fingerprint lunchbox? It is too early for lunch. It's only 10 a.m. Your name and profession, please. Well, Your Honor, how does it taste? So this is why everyone raves about caviar. It's so tasty it hurts. I always thought caviar would taste like pickled tapioca. What? Thank you, Phoenix. What does it taste like? Name, profession, now. Ooh, somebody's turning into Von Karma. I'm gonna let that one sink in. Me? The name is Angel Starr. Don't go forgetting it. I find myself running Lunchland these days. Is that what you wanted me to say, Mr. Edgeworth? Very well, witness. Please describe the incident to us. The prosecution will wait. I am not finished eating. Hurry it up! Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. As you know, we usually call on the police to provide a description of the crime. Your Honor, as Mr. Edgeworth has said to the court, I am a professional. What exactly does that mean? Until 2 years ago, Miss Angel Starr was a special investigator with the police. She was a first-rate homicide detective. What? Miss Starr was a detective? Somebody fell on hard times. Aha! I know who you are. Cough up.
Cough up, Queen Angel Starr, Your Honor. Long time no see.
Very well. You may continue with the description, Miss Starr.
Just who is this lady? If I might have the court's attention over here.
Where does she get a diagram from? Okay, whatever.
The parking lot at the prosecutor's office is divided into 2 blocks. A block is for the prosecutor's office personnel. B block is for visitors and clients. A chain divider separates the 2 blocks. I suppose that's to keep visitors from taking up prosecutor spaces, yes? The crime took place by a car in the back of A block in the car's trunk. Wait, did I misread that in the wrong voice? Whatever. The killer stabbed the victim with a knife and went to drive the body out. Unfortunately for her, there was a witness and an arrest was made on the spot.
And who was this valiant witness?
Why, it was me, Your Honor.
Floor plans added to the court record. Witness, did you see the very moment of the crime?
Of course, Your Honor. Immediately after that, I apprehended the chief prosecutor.
It seems rather cut and dry, doesn't it? Well, Mr. Wright?
I can't agree on principle, Your Honor. It seems that some poor losers are unwilling to accept the truth, Your Honor. Shall I proceed to crush what little hope they have remaining?
If you can, then give them your worst, Miss Starr.
Wait, are they talking about me?
God, I hate you and your rice cake hat, or as Pokemon would have me believe, jelly donut hat.
Somehow I always knew a day like this would come. I was on my way to deliver a lunchbox to my boyfriend, when I sensed something. Perhaps it was my finely honed detective instincts working. Then, through a wire fence, I saw the chief prosecutor standing next to a garish car. The chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. Then she thrust the pointy tip of the knife into Detective Goodman's chest.
Bring the lunchbox to your boyfriend. How touching. As you can see, there is no room for doubt. The key point of your testimony seems to be nothing other than the point of the knife which you saw being stabbed into Detective Goodman.
So, how does it feel to be so utterly crushed?
I'm still thinking about that.
It's merely a flesh wound, Mr. Wright.
So many puns. Very well, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness. Okay, didn't really see any contradictions in there, so I'm just about to press literally everything. How did you know this day would come, though? Like, really?
I respect the prosecutor's basic abhorrence of crime, yet their methods are ugly and twisted. Twisted methods will always lead to tragedy.
And he had to bow! Okay, the lunch lady's uninformed opinion is duly noted.
Given that they all are used to erasing inconvenient evidence at their whim, killing off a detective that knew too much is merely an extension of that.
Miss Starr, do you have something personal against prosecutors?
I felt that I had found my dream job when I became an investigator. If I hadn't been laid off by those prosecutors over there, I'd still be one.
Laid off? She was fired.
To me, prosecutors are nothing more than worms. That said, I am a pro, as you know. My testimony is unbiased and flawless.
Very well. You may continue, Miss Starr.
Interesting little bit of backstory there, but okay. Deliver a lunchbox to your boyfriend.
Hold it. Which one? You got many of them. Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Is he the detective?
Not that boyfriend. The security guard.
That boyfriend? You have several?
Yes. This boyfriend, that boyfriend, and the other boyfriend. Care to join? The yet another boyfriend position is still open for applicants.
I'll stick with the lunch, thanks.
Note to self, the judge had to think before replying. The security guard room is in the lot in A block. It's up on the second level, so you can see everything from there. That would be the room with the security sign.
Oh, that would be the room with the security sign. Incidentally, did you bring your lunchboxes by car?
Since I'm a visitor now, I parked in B block. So, she was in B block when she witnessed the crime.
I sensed something, perhaps with my finally home detective instincts working. Hold it. You sensed something? So you're saying you had a premonition of the murder?
It felt like, how would you say? Oh yes, it was like the feeling you get when you view a pumpkin chock full of seeds.
I have no idea what that means. Speaking of detective's instincts, wasn't the victim Mr. Bruce Goodman also a detective?
Yes, well, he was like a young cheese.
A young cheese?
A pale white cheese, not yet tangy with experience on the streets. A greenhorn.
I, of course, am hard, yellow, sharp as a tack.
I bet you stink, too.
Nice input there, Emma.
You better hope they don't find you in contempt of court. In any case, there in the lot, I felt something stirring in the back of my mind.
Through a wire fence, I saw the chief prosecutor standing next to a garish car. Hold it.
By garish car, you mean Mr. Edgeworth's car, yes.
Mr. Edgeworth's?
Incidentally, the knife with which the victim was stabbed was also Mr. Edgeworth's, wasn't it?
Indeed it was. What an odd case this is. And the person you saw, you are sure was the defendant.
I saw her from no further than 30 feet away.
I am certain it was her. If she's telling the truth, we're doomed.
Let's just do what we can. Even if we don't have any proof, we can always complain.
Witness, in your testimony you clearly stated the following. Prosecutors are nothing more than worms. Ergo, you are a biased witness.
You might want to keep those silly opinions to yourself in the future, rookie.
Huh? Rookie?
Unless you're willing to risk the consequences of doubting me. I'll fry you like a fritter, crispy on the outside, chewy on the inside.
That was inspiring.
I believe I've heard that tagline elsewhere. You could cry plagiarism.
I haven't heard that. Well, you probably know better than me, Emma.
I may be relegated to the lowly post of lunch lady, but my instincts are honed.
A photograph? You took this?
The moment I witnessed the crime, my reflexes took over and snap, I took a picture. In fact, one of my lunchboxes is rigged with a camera.
I suppose that's more exciting than just hanging it around your neck. This is my first time seeing this photograph.
You think I'd show it to you, a prosecutor? Think again. My boyfriend works in the photography division of criminal affairs.
Well, this is most certainly the defendant. Crime photo added to the court record. Didn't know witnesses could provide evidence, but okay.
Uh-oh, that is unmistakably Lana Skye.
So what was the defendant doing at the time? The chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. But, first things first, I'm going to take a little look at this. Let's check it out. That's Lana. That's the trunk of a car. Okay, then. Interesting. Oh, also, while I'm at it, okay, then. Now, hold it. Tell me more about this knife that the suspect was carrying.
Well, I'd say the blade was about 10 centimeters long. Is that right, Mr. Edgeworth? Is it your... Oh, it is your knife, after all.
Yes, that's about right.
Prosecutors are, by nature, well versed in the location of a man's vital organs. I'm sure it was easier than boiling an egg for my egg salad surprise set.
You can't testify as to her ability to kill an egg. I mean, a person.
Perhaps a chicken salad set would have been a better metaphor?
So the defendant was holding a knife. What then? Okay, then she thrust the pointy tip of the knife into Detective Goodman's chest. Hold it. Tell the court why you didn't try to stop this crime. You did see her raise the knife to strike, no? The defense has a point.
Unfortunately, by the time I realized what was going on, it was already too late.
Too late?
Yes, the next moment, the chief prosecutor brought down the murder weapon. I see. It's only a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. We can make it. You said that before. Anything else? Scientifically speaking, Miss Starr's testimony is flawless. Sounds pretty fatal to me. But what do we do? Is this it? Is my sister guilty? Let's just keep our heads cool and press the witness a bit, shall we? For some reason, having her panicking next to me makes me calmer. Don't smile like that! Okay, this was pretty open and shut, though. I'm gonna repress on some things just to, like, get a refresher. Like, just passing on all this boyfriend crap. Security guard room is in the lot in A block. It's up on the second level, so you can see everything from there. That'd be the room with the security sign. Incidentally, did you bring the lunchboxes by car? Since I'm a visitor now, I parked in B block. So she was in B block when she witnessed the crime. Okay, yeah, give me a second here. Okay, hear me out here. I'm looking at this picture, right? And then I'm looking. You can't see her right hand. Now, mind you, this says the moment of the crime as photographed by Angel Starr. However, the chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. You can't see her right hand at this, the moment of the crime. So, please let this be right. Music stopped. Okay, good. And you witnessed this. You saw Miss Sky stab the victim with the knife. As I've already said, yes. I swear it on my finest salmon swirl lunch. I'm sure that is a fine lunch. But, isn't that odd? Look at this photograph. This is the photograph you took at the very moment of the crime, is it not? And why is Miss Sky not holding a knife? Ahem. Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts? Objection. Let's be a little more careful with our evidence, shall we? Is it you that needs to be more... Oh, it is you that needs to be more careful, Mr. Wright. What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? This photograph was not taken the moment before the stabbing. This was taken the moment after the stabbing. How can you tell that? Blood splatter. Huh? See the dark crimson stain on the chief prosecutor's coat? It's a black and white photograph. Ah, yes, it's hard to tell, but this could be blood. Well, Mr. Wright, I see no problem here. No problem, except you. Mr. Wright, are you going to just sit there and take that kind of abuse? Arg, you got a better idea? Objection? Wait, that contradicts what the witness said in her testimony. Namely, that she took the picture the moment she witnessed the crime. True that. Well, it seems I was slightly unclear. My apologies. That's it? If you run out of lunch, you order seconds. Problem solved. If you don't like it, try ordering the jumbo-sized lunch from the get-go. Good advice. I'm not sure I understand it, but good advice. I didn't have time to stop her. Prosecutor Sky was cold, calculating like a robot. She killed without pain or remorse. It was a premeditated murder. That is conjecture. Premeditated, how do you know? Look at the chief prosecutor's hands in that photograph. Well, are those gloves? Surgical gloves made of thin rubber, most likely. Why would she have those on? If it was not premeditated, she would not be wearing those gloves. Arg. Crap, are we about to get into OJ territory now? Those gloves do seem to tell a tale of premeditation. Premeditated murder, a serious offense. Witness, add this to your testimony. Okay, well, the murder was planned, the rubber gloves prove it. Hold it. What if she was just in the habit of wearing gloves, like driving gloves? The gloves were admitted as evidence when the defendant was arrested. They were rubber gloves of the kind used for autopsies. In other words, when the chief prosecutor came to the crime scene, she came to do murder. It's the only possible conclusion one can make. Everything was planned. It was a premeditated crime.
Erg. Impressive. I'm sorry they took you off the force, Miss Starr.
This is bad. She's got them thinking this was all planned. If she can prove this claim, the trial's already over. I've got to think of a way to show that this wasn't premeditated. It's only a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. Oh my god. Okay, scientifically speaking. Do. Huh. So we have to prove that it wasn't premeditated. I mean, we could always try to say, you know, if the glove doesn't fit, you must quit, but, oh crap. That's what I get for talking through all that crap. Okay, oh my god, I did it again! Oh, man. I'm so trigger happy. Okay. Bah. Okay. So, how can we prove that it wasn't premeditated? I'm at a loss here. No prints that has the victim's blood. Must be the victim's blood, right? Either that or Edgeworth cut himself peeling an apple. What's Edgeworth doing with a knife like this anyway? Hey, maybe he spends his weekends roughing it in the wild. Edgeworth in the wild? I think my fruit peeling theory is more likely. Are you kidding? I always pictured him as an outdoorsman. Ha! Now there's a scary thought. Okay, but yeah. That's victim's blood, alright. Let me think on this. Okay, you know what? I'm going to go out on a limb here and present this as evidence that it wasn't planned. Because why would she keep the gloves on at that point, but, you know, like, not even change her coat, if that makes any sense? Like, after the crime, you would think both would be off, both the gloves and the coat. By leaving the coat on, she's leaving evidence. I don't know. Let's give it a shot. Music's still playing. I'm wrong. Your Honor, what do you think about the witness's statement? Okay. Well, that was incorrect. Allow me to think some more on this. I think this might be it. The fact that this happened in his car at that exact time, but how would anybody have expected Edgeworth to park right there at that point in time, and then the murder to happen 3 minutes later after he parks? Let's give it a shot. Music still goddamn playing. Damn. Oh, okay. I'm at a loss here. I
I forgot the logic, and I'm not really seeing what I can do here. I'm just gonna go through this one more time. Okay, so I wasted another strike just messing around with the cell phone. In retrospect, that was just pure desperation, and I shouldn't have done that. However, I think I might have it. The fact that this weapon was found in Edgeworth's toolbox. How would she have known Edgeworth had a knife in his toolbox if this was premeditated? And for that matter, why the hell does Edgeworth have a knife in his toolbox? We don't have a knife in ours. Okay, well, maybe a putty knife, but you can't really stab somebody with that. I mean, you can, but it won't pierce the skin as easily as like a sharp knife would, but whatever. Please. Thank you. Music stopped. Okay. Oh my god. Witness, do you know what this is? Are you trying to test me? I sell box lunches for a living, you know. That's a knife. The knife. The knife that was in Mr. Edgeworth's trunk. Indeed, it is my knife. What's with this case? The bloody murder weapon! A red car! All belonging to the prosecutor, they are! The defendant is the chief prosecutor for the district, right? Mommy, are prosecutors bad people? The defense has a request. We ask that the witness provide an accurate testimony. What's that, rookie? In your testimony, you stated that Lana Skye planned this murder, and that's why she was wearing those special gloves. Seems like a natural conclusion to me. The gloves do indicate planning. However, why would she not also prepare the most important thing? The murder weapon. Oh. This knife just happened to be in the trunk of that car. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to plan a murder, you don't forget the weapon. Yeah, we got her on the ropes. Okay, cool. I will not falter again. I will not lose these last 2 strikes. Order, order, order. Great. Now the tide is turning in our favor. Great show, Mr. Wright. My sister's as good as free. Uh-oh. You got that Von Karma smirk going on. Right. I believe the next lunch you'll be eating is humble pie. What? I hope you aren't deluding yourself into thinking that the tide has turned. Not over such a trifling detail. But this shoots a hole in the whole premeditated theory. Bah. The prosecution could care less if it was premeditated or not. The only one who seems to care is that lunch lady over there. The defendant, Lana Skye, murdered a detective with a knife. That is the only thing the prosecution need prove, nothing else. Very good, Mr. Prosecutor. I suppose you think you're clever now. But you know as well as I do that she planned on killing him. It was planned. If she wasn't, why would she have been wearing... I believe I'd like to hear your testimony again. Witness, please tell us only what you saw, not what you thought. How dare you? My powers of deduction are not to be underestimated. Really now. Alright, Angel's deduction. Lana Skye intended to murder Detective Goodman. That's why she called the victim all the way to the prosecutor's office. I'm sure the chief prosecutor had a grudge against the victim. Nothing else could drive that human machine to plunge the knife in again and again. The victim was summoned from the police department to the prosecutor's office. It does sound a lot like premeditation, doesn't it? So if I order pizza, does that mean I'm planning to kill the delivery boy? In any case, the defense may now cross-examine the witness. Okay, this one I'm going to get straight to the point on. Because... give me a second here. Yeah, blah, 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 intent to murder him, whatever. You know, you're just saying that. You're just saying things. But, single stab wound was found. So, worst girl, you got some explaining to do. Okay? You got some explaining to do. Again, and again, and again. But wait. You say she stabbed him again and again. But you couldn't have witnessed that. Are you testing me? Then I'll test you. With my Moss surprise. I'm afraid the moss is growing under our feet as we wait, Miss Starr. What do you mean? I shouldn't have to explain this, but take a look. The autopsy report states that death was due to a loss of blood from one stab wound. Aha! You're right. Good show, Mr. Edgeworth.
What a hunk, he's my hero, really. What about my objection? No one noticed?
Well, witness?
You got the crime scene set, right?
Oh, thanks. This is becoming less and less food-like, but okay.
I always believed that no one could ever mistake ketchup for blood. But now I realize that such mistakes are possible.
So, you're saying you mistook something for blood?
When she lifted her knife, I thought I saw blood at her breast. Splattered blood from her victim. That's why I thought she must have stabbed him at least twice.
Then tell us what you saw that you thought was blood. Testify.
Her red muffler looked like blood to me. That's how greatly the whole scene was. Oh, how ghastly the whole scene was.
Her red muffler looked like blood. Really?
Yes, like a scarf. The chief prosecutor always wears one around her neck, so she can be easily hanged at a moment's notice, I suppose.
She's right.
This guy was wearing a red scarf, wasn't she?
But wait, isn't it odd that you mistook that for splattered blood? Well, people often mistake my beard for a bib. Those people must be idiots. A judge with a bib, that's why this place feels so much like kindergarten sometimes. Ooh, snap. Phoenix with the internal shots.
Actually, I do think I saw some traces of blood on her chest.
Are you scoping out her boobs? But alright. However, the autopsy report is clear on this matter. There was only one knife wound. Apparently, Miss Starr isn't entirely sure of her own testimony.
Mr. Wright, this is our chance.
Chance for what, I wonder? Miss Starr has turned out to be as short-tempered as she looked when we met her. Challenging her abilities as a detective really set her off.
The short wick burns out the fastest. It's a scientific fact.
I wonder, wouldn't it depend on the size of the candle? I mean, add more wax and even a really short wick will burn longer.
Obviously, more scientific testing is required.
Why did we go on that tangent? I don't know. But she mistook the red scarf for blood. What red scarf? I'm asking. I will not skip this. Okay. Objection.
Miss Starr, I demand an explanation.
The witness is clearly not suited for detective work.
What?
The suspect was not wearing a scarf or muffler of any kind when she stabbed the victim. And you've proved it yourself with this photograph. I thought the name of this game was Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, not Miles Edgeworth, Ace Prosecutor. You're kind of stealing my limelight here, Edgy.
Huh? But what? That can't be!
Only a true professional could be so clueless. I'm sure you'll make a good lunch lady, have no fear. My god, they're just at each other's throats. What's really going on there, Edgeworth? Harsh words, but good.
In the end, Mr. Edgeworth prevails. What was my objection? Chopped liver? But it was there. A scarf. No, not that, but something red, really.
Well now, where were we? The witness has given us an entertaining interlude. Now back to business.
What?
Very well, witness. Continue your testimony. You saw the crime and apprehended the suspect. Tell us about that.
Very well. I do remember some things accurately, at least.
Ultimately, we couldn't shake the most important part of her testimony. The most important part? The part where your sister stabs the victim. This next testimony might just be the moment of truth. Apprehending the suspect.
After the murder, the suspect attempted to run behind a partition off to her side. I quickly caught her, explained her rights to her, and arrested her on the spot.
But you're not an officer, you're a frickin' lunch lady, you don't have the right, whatever.
Yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. The chief prosecutor made to escape, but against Angel Starr, resistance is futile.
You are quite determined about this scarf, aren't you? I strike like a snake and bite like a cobra. The same thing. That's me, Angel Starr. That wasn't a very good metaphor. First of all, a cobra is a kind of snake. Don't bother me with details unless you want to get bitten. No thanks. I mean, some people are into that, but, not Phoenix here. Note to self, Attorney Wright gets bitten by a snake. The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum. An oil drum? Hard to imagine. Oh, she's beautiful, but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman. Rawr. Very well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, if you will. Okay, I didn't really see any holes in this one. I'm gonna have to just press on a ton of stuff. Murdered suspect attempted to run behind a partition off to her side. Hold it. So where's this partition on the floor plans? I'm sure she means this wall next to the car. That's right. There was a wall there, about 6 feet high. She was obviously trying to hide herself. Quite a natural thing for a criminal to do. And what did you do then? Quickly caught her, explained her rights to it, arrested her on the spot. Hold it. You say quickly. Were you close to the suspect? As I just said, I was only 30 feet away from her the whole time. I should press her for more details. Yes. I'd like to see this on the floor plans just to be safe. The Lunchland car was... She was a visitor, thus she was parked in B block. So you witnessed the murder from here? That would make it about 30 feet from the car, yes. Is that correct, Miss Starr? Yes, that's right. But there was a chain-link fence in front of you? I went over it, of course. Amazing, the cough-up queen, lunch lady athlete indeed. It would have taken her a little time to climb over the fence, so she couldn't have gotten to my sister that fast. Yeah, that fence was about 9 feet high, too. How come Miss Sky didn't get away? I feel like we want to present this? Or maybe the frick not. Oh my god, okay. Screw you. Okay, I'm gonna have to be super careful then. I'm gonna have to be really careful. Okay, she mentioned the muffler. She mentioned the muffler. What exactly did she say? If I remembered exactly, I would have told you my testimony. Cheeky. Anyway, all I heard her say was the word muffler. Just that one word? So, what you heard wasn't the suspect talking to you, but to someone else. Yes, the chief prosecutor was talking on her phone. Her phone? You mean the cell phone? Ask further. By phone, do you mean this cell phone discovered at the crime scene? Yes, ultimately. Ultimately? My memory. It's like a salmon heading upstream, you see. No, the court doesn't see, Miss Starr. The chief prosecutor first attempted to use the phone hanging on the wall. On the wall? That's right. That's right. Near the car, there was an emergency phone on the wall. Apparently it was out of order. And so she used her cell phone? Indeed, the emergency phone was out of order that day. Good witnessing, witness. Good witnessing? Why are you having a good testifying? You should, of course, add this to your testimony. The things I do to please this rookie defense attorney. Cell phone updated in court record. She gave up trying to use the phone on the wall and just used her cell phone. Okay. Well, wait, let's see how this was changed real quick. The word muffler was overheard during a call made to Emma at 5:18. Okay, but wait. She gave up trying to use the phone on the wall. Now, hear me out here. Hear me out here. Please, hear me out, okay? Are you hearing me out? If she was over here in B block, from, like, in the upper area, how'd she know a phone was right there? How did she know that she went behind a partition and used the phone? How would you know this? 6 feet high wall, and you're at ground level, And I mean, you know, oh, what? You're at the top of the, like, 9-foot tall gate? You couldn't see that. No, nah, screw that. I have to conclude that you have a personal grudge against Miss Lana Skye. The witness is a former detective. Her testimony is unmarred by personal bias. Well, who would have thought you would be my knight in shining armor, prosecutor? You, who together with the chief prosecutor, kicked me out 2 years ago. Well, Miss Starr, this is a fatal contradiction with your testimony. How do you explain this? I don't know what you're talking about. Mess with me, and I'll make you cough it all up. What? Ahem. Look at this floor plan. Or, let's look at the floor plans. God. You said you witnessed the crime from this point. However, if that's true, you couldn't possibly have seen Miss Skye making that phone call. I believe you see what I'm getting at. That emergency phone was on the back side of this partition. If indeed you were in B block, you couldn't have seen it. What? What? Order! Order, what is the meaning of this? It's simple, Your Honor. She's not coughing up lunch, she's coughing up lies and deceit. Grr. That's quite a claim, Mr. Wright. Perhaps you will allow me a question. Tell us exactly what lie this witness has told the court. Here's where the counterattack begins. I can't afford to get this wrong. I literally can't. The witness lied about where she saw it. She tried to use the emergency phone, but it was out of order. What is significant about this fact? Nothing. It'll be pointless for her to lie about it. Pointless to lie? I see. The witness did actually see Miss Skye using the emergency phone. In other words, Miss Starr witnessed the crime from a different location. A different location? Now, that's a pointless lie if I ever heard one. Before you call my lie pointless, at least let me tell it. You're kind of sort of like offhandedly admitting it's a lie, but okay. Let me ask a question to our clever wordsmith, Mr. Wright. Just where was the witness when she saw the crime? All the testimony we've heard until now points in one direction. The place where Miss Starr witnessed this crime was here. Okay. I wish this screen would have been bigger, but hear me out here. Okay. Like, wait. Okay, well, but then the picture. Okay, well, here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say it's the security room because, you know, she was able to see this. The security room can see everything in the parking lot, so that means it could also see, you know, over the 6-foot wall right there and catch that murder happening. So, right here. This is the only place where she could have been. The security guard room. Indeed, the security room in the underground parking lot is well positioned. It's built on the second level so you can see the entire lot. She would have been able to see the emergency phone from there. But why there? There are many other places where she could have seen the phone. Not in this case, Your Honor. The witness, not being part of the prosecutor's office, couldn't park in A block. The only place where she could have seen the crime in the back of the partition is here. I remember in your testimony you said you bought a lunch to your boyfriend in the security guard room, yes? Well, Miss Starr? How many years have I been getting the better of men? To think that the tables could be turned. Today a man has got the better of Angel Starr. Order! Order! Witness! What have you done? You used to be a detective. You should know better. I'm not turning back. The guilty will be punished, and I'll do what I must to make sure justice prevails. The guilty? Is she talking about Miss Skye? Mr. Wright, doesn't this strike you as odd? Why did Miss Starr lie? It doesn't make sense. Huh? She could have just said she saw the crime from the security guard station. It wouldn't change anything. Exactly. This photograph tells all. It was the defendant who stabbed the victim. That truth still stands. It still stands. I disagree, Mr. Edgeworth. What? If a witness is found to be lying, they're guilty of perjury. She knows this. She wouldn't risk that without a good reason. So tell us what her reason was, Mr. Wright. Huh? Me? Who else? Mr. Wright, let's review what we know. Miss Starr witnessed the crime from the security guard station. But she lied and said she saw it from B Block. It must make a vital difference, but what? What would change? Distance and lighting won't make a difference. The angle of view makes a difference. Because if she's in the security guard station, she sees the back. But if she's in B Block, she sees the front. Why the angle at which she saw the crime occur would change? The angle? What do you mean? Well, the security guard station is on the second floor, and, she would have sort of a more 3D view of the crime. And this is important. Why? You gotta be effing kidding me. But that's true! Oh my, okay. Alright. I mean, I don't know what difference that would make, but it's right. Well, whatever. So this is what happens. Yeah, okay. We were found guilty. Frickin' heck, man. I should have saved, like, at some point in there. Fine, okay. I guess I did think about that the wrong way. As I'm skipping through all of this, I think it might very well have been the distance. I was thinking of relative distance and not, like, you know, actual distance. What I mean is that, like, her relative distance from the crime could still be 30 feet if she was in the security guard office. But as far as the actual distance goes, she would have had to, like, go down some steps or take an elevator and, you know, run all the way over there, as opposed to, you know, being able to make a straight beeline towards it if she was in B Block. So, yeah. I'm gonna go with distance this time. I really wish, like, the moment I was down to my final strike, I should have just been like, you know what? Just go straight to this menu, save, so I could have a checkpoint, and then, you know, just cheese my way through this. Well, at least I'm starting with a fresh slate. Still very disappointed in myself, though. But whatever. I mean, but I'm still salty about all of that, because, I mean, the angle from which she sees everything does change, and that can have an impact. For example, if you're viewing it from the back, you know, from the second story of a building, I mean, you might think anybody with long hair is committing the crime. I'm just saying. But, you know, whatever. It is what it is. I mean, that does obviously change, but I guess they're looking for, like, okay, well, that changed, but what impact does that have on her testimony? But whatever, let's just go. Well, this is new, mostly because I presented the floor plan, but they were like, oh, no, you're wrong, here's a strike. And I was like, wait, no, but it's whatever. So yeah, Bully grabbed her arm, chief prosecutor hung up her phone. Okay, and you saw her doing this. Was it Mr. Wright? Okay, and no, we don't have to see all of that. She mentioned the muffler. Then gave up trying to use the phone on the wall, and I'm going to present this again. That okay, what's even going on here? What's even going on here? What, is there a specific trigger for this? Which shouldn't even be the case? I'll just go through pressing the first two statements again. So what, did I actually have to press her twice on this? Oh, okay, yeah, just to get this clarification that she was in fact over here. But when I pressed that other statement and we got that picture of her like snatching the phone out of her hand, like we also got confirmation. It's like, and then, you know, as she was over there, I jumped over the fence. But this is ridiculous. I mean, to be fair, I should be mad at myself for that wasted, like, strike I had when I tried to present the phone when it was... Oh, come on! What am I doing wrong? Oh, wait, I think I presented it on this anyway, and that was incredibly wrong. But just to be safe, because I'm getting a little tired of this. There we go. Music stopped, and even though I'm just... Okay. Alright, just a few minutes away from the, point where I got that game over. I mean, I've been tapping buttons for about 20 minutes now. Like, I'm so mad. I'm going to be so mad if I find out that, like, I was done. Like, pretty much done with this trial when I got that game over. I mean, I still stand by my logic, you know, the ankle changes, but hey, whatever. You know, like I said, it has been a while since I went through this game, so I forgot some of the finer points and decisions. But never mind, we're almost there. And I'm not knocking the game for not having, like, quick, like, you know, being able to speed through the text. Even though it thinks this is my first time seeing this, like, I can understand a visual novel not allowing you to, like, speed through text the first time through, especially since almost every other video game in existence does this. Well, I mean, except for Animal Crossing, you can skip through text your first time witnessing it on there. But, like, I mean, I've seen this in other visual novels, like even 999 and just other games in general, like RPGs, where like your first time seeing text, you can't really go through it, but then, you know, like if you get a game over, or if you're like on like a new save file or new game plus, then you can sort of speed through it. But still, they should have the option the first time through, I guess, or maybe do something similar like to Bravely Default. Well, no, Bravely Default, they just have it so that you can have it auto play as opposed to tapping it. But then if you want to skip it, then it'll say like, are you sure you want to skip this? And then it'll be like, okay. But I mean, at least have the failsafe in there, just like 999, where, you know, they figure out like, okay, they had a game over on this file, we'll let them skip the text this time. And what am I saying? You know, this was a DS game, and this is like a early Wii port of it. For all I know, when they ported it to 3DS, they probably did add that. Because, yeah, you know, the trilogy is on 3DS. So, you know, I'm just, like, thinking out loud right now. Okay, so, yeah, distance to the crime, let's do it. It changed the distance between her and the scene of the crime. My condolences, Mr. Wright, but one look at the floor plans and it's quite clear. The distance between the scene of the crime and the guard station is 30 feet. I don't see how that would change what she could see. What she saw is not in question here, because remember I said this, relative distance is not actual distance. See, what matters is the time it would take her to reach the scene of the crime. Miss Starr, you witnessed the crime from the security guard station. Now how long did it take you to go from there to the scene of the crime where you arrested Miss Sky? Well, witness? Yes? You ordered the squid wheels, right? The quality of my lunches is going from low to inedible. I was bringing a PB&J lunch with fresh boysenberry jam to my boyfriend.
Boysenberry for the boyfriend.
He wasn't in the station, so I waited. I witnessed the crime from the glass-walled station. And before I knew what I was doing, I found myself running towards the scene. But the door was locked. I couldn't open it. That is a long freaking trip. That's why I had to go through the visitors parking in B block.
That's quite a detour.
It probably took me at least 5 minutes to get to the scene of the crime.
5 minutes? This changes things considerably.
But it was that woman over there in the defendant's chair who stabbed him. I know it. I have photographic evidence. I swear it. I swear it on my finest plastic spork.
You have a point, and the spork is a wonderful invention, it really is.
Would you like another caviar lunch?
Absolutely.
Uh-oh. Mr. Wright, you have to do something. Do I have any evidence to stop this? Do I? Okay, 5 minutes. But what does this even show? Yeah, I'm saving again, so what? I kind of want to sit back and observe, though, but... Like, it took her 5 minutes, so then how can you connect this to the crime? That was taken when she got to the crime scene. I don't know. I'll just raise an objection. Just go with my gut. 5 minutes between the witnessing of the murder and the arrest. Think about it. You can make pasta in that amount of time, if you like it al dente. I've got lunchboxes that tie pasta into knots, rookie. A 5-minute blank. Isn't that strange? Strange? If you were a criminal, what would you do at 5 minutes, Your Honor?
Well, I guess I'd flee the scene. Hey! Don't get the wrong idea. I didn't kill anyone.
But you have the instincts of a killer. You would run. But this time was different. Miss Sky dawdled at the scene of the crime. She even had her picture taken. No true criminal would act this way. It's inconceivable. Yeah, okay. We got her on the ropes again. But there's also the fact that, like the picture. But, oh, whatever. Well, then it seems we've come to the end of this testimony. That was an awful showing, and I apologize greatly for that. She has a grudge against the defendant, and there is a blank in her testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, is the next witness ready to go? Unfortunately, I appear to have overestimated this witness on account of a professional history. We did it! We screwed that can shut, Mr. Wright! That was too close. You don't know how close, Phoenix. You don't know how close. I'm afraid that the Cough-Up Queen has been dethroned. And with that, court is adjourned. Hold it. Mr. Edgeworth, you ordered the squid wheels, right? That's one she tried to foist off on me. I prefer to not take the defense team's leftovers. Anything else to say? I might be able to save you. I have decisive evidence.
What was that?
Is this another one of her trick lunchboxes? My apologies, but we have no further questions to ask of you, Miss Starr.
Is this your jumbo lunchbox?
Woohoo, a triple-decker. Out of deference to the witness's determination, I'll allow one more testimony. Let's hear about this decisive evidence.
Like the Lunchland motto says, you won't be disappointed. What's she going to pull out of her lunchbox this time? Decisive evidence, whoa. I should have mentioned those 5 minutes when I wasn't looking at the crime scene. And now, to the matter of the victim's shoe, did I not bring this up? 2 types of blood were found on this shoe. One was, of course, the victim's, and the other was the defendant, Miss Lana Sky's blood. This shoe proves it. It's flawless, decisive evidence.
What? There was blood found on that shoe.
Try Lunchland for all your lunch and decisive evidence needs.
Thank you, Edgeworth. Witness, what's the meaning of this? Why is this the first time I've heard of this evidence?
Simple. As I've already said, I don't trust you with evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. That's why I took the liberty of investigating this myself.
And you had blood tests performed?
Didn't I mention? I have 3 boyfriends in forensics.
In any case, Your Honor, I can't accept that as evidence.
What?
You must know the 2 rules of evidence law. Rule 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. In other words, this shoe is illegal evidence, at least for the time being.
Is that right, Mr. Wright?
It seems so. Edgeworth sure is celebrating.
Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth. Don't forget, I used to be a detective. As I mentioned previously, this shoe has already been tested by a member of the forensics department. As you can see, it was approved by the police department as of today. Even the general public can produce official evidence, Mr. Edgeworth.
Nah.
Is that right, Mr. Wright?
It seems so. Edgeworth is looking pretty sullen.
You could at least study some evidence law, really.
The prosecution's complaints notwithstanding, it appears that this evidence satisfies the first rule of evidence law. Well, it seems you have yet another count against you, witness.
Anything to ensure that the guilty are properly judged.
Victim's shoe added to the court record. Very well, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness.
Alright, decisive evidence.
But, first things first, I'm going to have to be really careful as I'm pressing buttons here because I don't want to accidentally present this. White animal shoe bears trace of blood from Goodman and Lana Sky. Okay. I mean, that's a sensible shoe, alright, but this blood, it's my sister's, right? It appears so. Lana's right hand was bandaged when I saw her in jail. She must have cut herself at the time of the crime. Poor sis. So her blood is on top of the shoe. There's blood here too. On the sole of the shoe, it's gotta be the victim's. He must have stepped in the puddle of his own blood. All this blood, it's horrible. This blood might be an important clue. The victim's blood is on the bottom. Her blood is on the top. Okay then. Interesting. Alright, should have mentioned those 5 minutes when I was looking at the crime scene, and now to the matter of the victim's shoe. Did I not bring this up? 2 types of blood were found on this shoe. One, of course, was the victim's, and the other was the defendant, Miss Lana Sky's blood. This shoe proves it is flawless, decisive evidence. Let's press on this first. So you brought it to the forensics department. If you're going to submit something as evidence in court, you need it approved. To do that, evidence must be analyzed by a forensics expert. And she got away with her little coup because she used to be a detective. The shoe does appear to have bloodstains on it. Makes sense. After all, a man was stabbed here. And that blood belonged to the victim, Detective Goodman? As I said, there were 2 types of blood found on the shoe. The other was the defendant, Miss Lana Sky's blood. You can't say for sure the blood belonged to the victim with the blood test.
You claim to know something about blood tests, rookie? Huh? Well, speak up. Well, blood comes in 4 types, A, B, O, and AB. However, you can't tell from a blood test whether a murder was performed in cold blood. That's just a figure of speech, Mr. Wright. Actually, if you combine all the various blood tests, there are millions of types. It's practically impossible to narrow a blood sample down to one person. Or so I hear. Millions of types? If I had a little more time, I would have gotten DNA test results. But they said there's very little doubt it could be anyone's but Miss Lana Sky's. So the suspect's blood was found on the victim's shoe. It ties her directly to the death of Detective Goodman. I was afraid he was going to say that. Shoe proves it. Can't let this evidence go through without a fight. You ordered the peppered fish guts, right? Ew. Some like it hot, Mr. Wright. Some like your client. She's in enough hot water to make a whole batch of soup. Mr. Wright, do you or don't you have a problem with this shoe? A problem? This is critical. What's wrong with the victim's shoe? Okay, well, I mean, there's a big problem. Because I pointed it out by examining it. If I'm not imagining things, I say there is one critical problem with this evidence. A clear contradiction. That gleam in your eyes. You're still young, rookie. I'd give you a peppered fish gut now. But you couldn't take the heat, could you? Please, just stop with your pretentious little speeches here. Let's hear what Mr. Wright has to say. What is contradictory about the victim's shoe? Show us the problem with the evidence. Okay. No, I want to save right now. Okay, well, fine. Like, why was the victim's blood on the bottom? I wonder if you noticed, there's blood on the bottom of this shoe, because, I mean, you know, she stabbed him. His blood would be on top of the shoe, not her own blood. So yeah, let that one sink in. Don't mess with me, rookie, or it'll be your blood on the bottom of my shoe. Indeed, there is quite a bit of blood on the bottom of this shoe. It just occurred to me, Phoenix Wright shows blood as red, but Danganronpa shows blood as pink to, like, avoid higher ratings. Even though the game's already rated M, but... like, I think they actually did that not as a stylistic choice, but because they had to? But then you have Phoenix right here showing red blood. I don't know. Or was it the stylistic choice in Danganronpa? I gotta look that up again. Anyway, it makes sense. The victim was stabbed with a knife. What could possibly be contradictory about blood on the bottom of his shoe? What? Oh wait, so that's the victim's shoe and not hers. So she wasn't wearing sensible flats. Okay. Oh yeah, she was wearing black shoes anyway. Okay, but what is contradictory about blood being on the bottom of his shoe then? Well then that means he stepped... okay, like he stepped in his own blood, but why would her blood be on top of the shoe? Wait, I've confused the crap out of myself. I am so mind flooded right now. I presented the knife. I'm guessing your shoe has blood on it too. You just shot yourself in the foot. Or, oh, you gotta be effing... So do I just present the shoe again? Scientific about this. Examine the evidence. Oh, shut up. What a waste of time. Well, that was a nice break. Let's return to the testimony, shall we? Are you effing kidding the crap out of me? Why am I struggling so much? Okay,
I feel like I'm missing something here. No, wrong button. Oh, crap, I'm a freaking idiot. Because there's not a puddle of blood on the floor? Whatever, anyway, the problem lies in the footprint. The footprint? Note that the bottom of the victim's shoe is covered in blood. Then, isn't it strange? Why aren't any bloody footprints found by the scene of the crime? Yep. Okay, I'm just dumb. I'm sorry, everybody. As you can see, there were no traces of any such footprints at the scene of the crime. That contradicts your claim about this shoe. The picture only shows part of the floor, so there could have been bloody footprints. If there were bloody prints, they would have been found. We checked the scene and found nothing of the sort. Order! 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 Well, witness? What? Huh? Great going, Mr. Wright, but it's true that the lack of a footprint is a contradiction. But then we have to ask why there wasn't a footprint. Oh, that's true. There has to be a reason why there wasn't a footprint. Think, Mr. Wright, think. Hey, I don't know why it's not there. I'm just good at finding contradictions. What? I see. Now I get it. Get what? Our witness is more devious than I gave her credit for. We were hoodwinked to the very end. Give me a second here. Alright, just had to address something that was going on. Anyway, we were hoodwinked to the very end. But she slipped. There is one vital hint to the truth in her testimony. What are you talking about? Think back to when she told us about apprehending the suspect. The chief prosecutor tried to in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum. Oh, she's beautiful but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman, rawr. I thought that was a strange thing for the normally cool-headed chief to do. No kidding. Now, witness, allow me to ask a very simple question. This oil drum, was it empty? Oh, that, I'm not sure I like your attitude, Mr. Edgeworth. Though apparently you're not the slowest conveyor belt in the lunchbox factory. Witness, well, was the oil drum empty? The oil drum kicked over by the chief prosecutor was brimming with water. Water? What does that mean? It means it was filled with water, idiot. Still don't get it, Mr. Wright? Do you want to know the reason she knocked it over? The real reason? Aha! You don't mean... Yes, the suspect knocked over that oil drum for one reason and one reason alone. To erase the bloodstains that would become evidence against her. Work! That ties things up quite nicely. The bloodstains left on the victim's shoe ties her quite clearly to this murder. Then after the deed was done, she knocked over the oil drum to erase the telltale signs. Why, that's a prosecutor's specialty, erasing evidence. That reminds me, Miss Sky's right hand was hurt. Didn't she say she'd cut herself when she stabbed him? So my sister's blood on the shoe, that's when it happened? Well, I see no reason to prolong this trial. But Mr. Wright, do something, please. But what? What can I do? Your sister has confessed to the crime and she tried to conceal it. But... Enough. There is no need for further debate. The verdict, Your Honor. Very well. But Angel Starr is on the prosecution's side. She could have been lying about the water. This court finds the defendant, Miss Lana Sky. Little girl, what did you just say? Huh? Me? Did you say that I, Angel Starr, was on the prosecution's side? Well, yeah, you are. You're saying my sister hid evidence by erasing the bloody footprints. Well, I thought you had your fill, but here you are demanding a second helping. Another lunchbox. Lunchbox called evidence. Wait, witness, don't tell me you have something else. You've reached your verdict, Your Honor. Any further comments will be held in contempt of court. Your threats don't scare the cough-up queen. Look at this. A photograph?
I had this just in case anyone had the gall to suggest that the white shoe didn't belong to the victim.
I see no room for error in this evidence.
But Mr. Wright, wait! Look at the asphalt in this photo.
Hey, it's clearly wet. Erasing the last trace of doubt from the court's mind, immediately after the murder, the crime scene was washed with water.
I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. I guess I couldn't help after all.
It's not your fault. I knew I couldn't win this case from the beginning. And it seems this is what your sister wanted anyway. I'm sorry, Mia.
Right, wet or not. Don't be so quick to throw in the towel. I see what they did there. Get yourself up off the asphalt. Take another good look. Don't give up. Not until the bitter end.
Is Emma a spirit medium too? Anyway, this is the last piece of evidence. Very well. This time I'd like to declare a verdict for good. Your Honor, wait. What is it with you people? Can't I hand down my verdicts in peace anymore? Whatever it is, can it wait? No, it can't. Then it would be too late. Look at this photograph, the last one submitted. This trial isn't over. I am going to have to split this trial into two. I was kind of wanting to avoid that, but hey, whatever. Trial isn't over until you give each piece of evidence proper consideration. So, Wright, are you saying there's a problem with this latest piece of evidence? Yeah, I'll think later. Yeah, there's a problem. Right or wrong, I've got to go ahead with this. I suppose since we've come this far, we should give every claim a fair shake. Very well, Mr. Wright. Show the court the problem in this photograph. Okay, well, I mean, we kind of got that right there. We got that right there, water and blood and... But wait. What's this? The problem in this photograph is here. What's this? There's something poking out of the car's muffler. Wait just a moment, Mr. Edgeworth. Your Honor, you just said muffler. However, I see no trace of a muffler or scarf of any kind in this photograph. A muffler is also a part of a car or motorcycle, Your Honor. Just think of it as part of the exhaust system. A pipe. I see, and I see. What's that suspicious-looking cloth sticking out of the car's muffler? So what if there is something sticking out of the muffler? What does that have to do with this case? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Sorry, Miss Starr, but it's not going to be that easy. In fact, you've already told us why this is important to the case. You said as much in your testimony. What? Yeah, because she brought up that she said on the phone, muffler. She didn't say whether it was the car muffler or her scarf muffler, so yeah. Let's hear what Mr. Wright has on his mind. Yeah. Tell us why you think this piece of cloth in the muffler is related to this case. Yeah, right there. But real quick, okay, well I can't do my fail-safe, so take that. Miss Starr, recall your testimony for the court. Yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. Muffler. Yarg. Could it be that the muffler you heard mentioned was actually this exhaust pipe? If so, that means this piece of cloth is vital evidence. Oh, okay, yeah, that's a meltdown. That's a meltdown. Well, it seems we will have to suspend the proceedings. Suspend? I find myself wondering about that piece of cloth. If we leave any question unanswered here, we do a disservice to the law. Have the car at the crime scene inspected at once and bring me that cloth. The verdict will wait until after we've seen all the evidence. Agreed? I suppose so. Phew. That was close. But we made it. At least for now. The court will adjourn for a 30-minute recess. It's lunchtime, after all. He's still hungry? To be continued. Maybe I won't have to split this, or maybe I will. I don't know. So yeah, that train wreck is over. Next time we return to the trial after the recess. Oh man, things were not going so well for me there. But at least I'm going to get my checkpoints back, or strikes back. At least I hope so. So yeah, next time we're going to see just what that cloth sticking in the muffler really was. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Please forgive me for the horrible play that you witnessed today, and see you next time for some more Let's Play Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Goodbye. Holy shit!